You know I'm live right here on our YouTube channel. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese. And Joe, it's been a while since we've done one of these.
It's been a long time since we've done one of these, actually. But we have a lot of things to talk about, which is good.
A lot of things to talk about. Big Brother, of course, the last time around was after the finale of Big Brother. And now the Olympics, of course. But, I mean, we got to experience a great Big Brother premiere party recently. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
We did. We had a good time. So back a couple of weeks ago, July 17th and the 18th, Big Brother had their premiere party in Midtown. So the first night you were there, we got to go to the Ainsworth. It was a 2-night thing. But we had the opportunity to meet a lot of great people. We represented Staten Island quite well. Shout out to our good friend Gina Marie, who was the season 15 runner-up, who was able to get us the hookup. And we had the opportunity to meet the rest of the people from last season who were there that we had not had the opportunity previously to meet with, connect with the people that we had on the podcast in person. There were a lot of other winners there. Xavier, Taylor, a lot of other names on top of that. Some other names from previous seasons like Kylan Young, who was very, very cool to hang out with for a little while. So we had a really, really great time. They were very accommodating. And I had spoken to Eric from season 8. He was America's player. And to really, wrap up our experience, Eric and I had a conversation, and Eric was like, Big Brother fans, they just get it. The atmosphere is tremendous. We weren't crammed at all. There's enough space. Everybody's kind of walking around, doing their own thing, getting to know everybody. Just a really, really great environment. And we really had a fun time that night. For real. It was awesome.
It was a good time. Got to meet some people, which was awesome. And it was all to get ready for season 26. And season 26, it's heating up now. Last week was great. This week was just absolute chaos. We'll see, what's gonna happen moving forward here. But basically, let's recap this crazy week so far, which is that just completed. And then is that Tucker, he's like, put me on the block again. He's a comp beast, but
it's awesome.
It's gonna come back and haunt him, I think.
It will eventually.
So he's like, put me on. He wants to get rid of Quinn's power. So he's like, I'm gonna give Angela the HOH. Angela is she's great TV. She's really
excellent great TV.
Really great TV. And she's going to be on the block every week. And for a long, long time, Joe, she's coming off the block. I don't think she's going to be voted out. I think she's going to be good for a while. But Tucker, he has his plan. Cedric tells him, use it on yourself. I don't get the votes. And he's like, I'm going to do it anyway. And they fight afterwards. But he tells him that. And listen, Tucker's taking time by him at this point. I think it's gonna blow up in his face. But so then he takes Angela off. Cedric then uses the power of veto, and he has to remain a replacement on Macy as Mackenzie, and then he gets that power out. And America voted for Quinn. I'm a little surprised.
Absolutely not.
You
don't listen. Let me tell you something. When it comes to Big Brother, you do not have a pulse on what America actually likes and dislikes, because so according to the Joker's rankings, Cam was actually at the bottom. But I think Cam is irrelevant to the game right now because America doesn't really know too much about him, and you don't see him in too many diary room sessions, right? So for me personally, I think Tucker has definitely overplayed his hand a little bit. He's definitely overplayed the game and overcompeted, which is a real thing.
He got the two powers out in the same week.
Correct. That was the whole idea.
He exposed one. He exposed one of the powers and got the other one out. How about Cedric calling the team meeting?
Yeah. But the idea was that he was ready to lay Quinn out on a silver platter. America, who voted on who to put up there last night, voted Quinn. So if you're in the house, right, and you're like, immediately you should be thinking, why would America vote for Quinn?
Yeah.
So that was an opportunity for them all to evict and get him out of the house. Obviously, they didn't take advantage of it, and we'll see what happens moving forward. But I think in Tucker's mind, he is overplaying, but he came to play. To quote the Miz's theme song, there did come to play.
We'll do some wrestling talk later on.
Yeah.
But listen, Tucker, he won. Quinn's speech I thought was good. He's like, I'm coming for Tucker.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
that's all's fair in the game. I respect that.
No matter what, you already know who won head of household. I didn't look ahead, but even if Tucker won head of household, Tucker's going on the block unless he's got immunity from winning head of household, because Quinn's 100% going to use his power this week, which is his last week to use it. If someone outside of the Pentagon wins, Chemo was, he blew the whole cover there, because he said to Tucker, I don't think anybody could trust Tucker right now. I think he's too much of a wild card. He might keep winning the AI arenas.
Well, that's what he's banking on, because
it's just if he doesn't win a veto and doesn't win the AI arena and he's on the block, he's gone. He's gone. They're gonna they have to vote him out. He's too good.
Well, he's been banking on, because those competitions, they're quick. Obviously, they're short for TV. They resemble the double eviction competitions. So in his mind, he's thinking if he's on the block, in comparison to everybody else, he's a comp beast. He's going to beat everybody. And sure enough, every single week, he goes into the competition and he wins.
The all-time winner.
That's a little bit of a part of his strategy right now. He hasn't really cared to be on the block because he feels like he can fight and get himself off the block with relative ease.
Absolutely. He dominated
all. Yeah, absolutely. So again, he's overplaying his hand a little bit, but it's part of his strategy. And if he goes far, it's really like a feather in his cap.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the numbers, Joe. So
he does not.
Eventually, I think the AI arena is not going to last the whole season.
I don't think so. I only think it's going to last a few more weeks.
So eventually,
maybe 1 or 2 more weeks.
Quinn, Cedric, Chelsea, the smart Brooklyn, the smart people, they're going to figure out a way to backdoor Tucker.
Sure.
Get him out.
Sure.
Because that's the way you get him out.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't put him on the block. He can't play in the veto. That's the only way you got to get him out.
Now, right now, I think Angela's in a great spot not to win. She's going to go very far in this game because she's the big shield, and everyone knows they could beat her. Just like Mama Fee last year, Felicia, your good friend, they took her to the end because they knew at the end they could get her.
She won some competitions along the way.
She won an HOH.
And we've already seen
some. But right. Angela won HOH too, and she got rid of Matt. So I think they're comparable.
Okay, fair.
Crazy Eyes.
Crazy Eyes.
Which is a great nickname. But right now, I think Chelsea and Cedric are in the driver's seat.
Okay, fair.
I think they're in the driver's seat. They got the Pentagon. Now, I like Brooklyn. I think she was smart right off the bat when she got approached with Pentagon saying to Quinn, we're on the outside here. So she's trusting Quinn. If these two could bring somebody in, then they could, they could ride to the end. But right now,
I think everybody is on to Quinn now. I think everybody realizes he's just trying to play buddy with everybody, and I think that will eventually.
How about your fellow Joe? Is he going to ride under the radar till the end? I don't be like Mimi and just ride so under the radar that eventually they're just like, see ya.
Unfortunately, my name guy, for now he's playing summer camp, and you're at summer camp until you're not at summer camp. So. You got to show me something.
I think if you were in there, you'd be playing like Quinn right now. But I don't know if you would have been so dumb to tell everybody that you had the power, and Mackenzie as well.
Oh no, I could keep secrets quite well.
Listen, I think by the time I just think there's a few factions in the house. Obviously, you got Leah and Mackenzie. They're a final 2. You got the Pentagon, which is really a final 3.
Right.
T-Core is not in the Pentagon, but I think she's with them.
Right.
Joseph's, who knows, Chemo, whatever. So those are the kind of the factions right now. Quinn is all over the place. Tucker's a loner. Nobody's with Tucker. So I want to see how this war plays out now between Cedric and Quinn versus Tucker. Does Tucker pull anybody into his faction? This is what we got to figure out here. But Who would you say is in the driver's seat right now, setting things up, looking forward here?
Well, I'll tell you something. It kind of blew up in his face a little bit, this HOH run. But I do like Cedric's game so far right now. I don't really, like I said, I don't love Quinn's, even though he's a sociable player, simply because I think everybody else has kind of figured out what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to put a target on his back. And I think while he's not going to be the immediate target for the next week or two, I think he will be in the next crop of people who are targeted.
Yeah.
I think the rooting interest for America right now is probably Mackenzie, because she kind of survived a little bit of a scare early. And
how about her pal Leah?
Everybody likes Leah too. I like Mackenzie. I like Leah. I'm rooting for Tucker because again, he's overplaying, but he is playing, and if he survives, it's a great run of things that he survived. So
the thing about Leah, Joe, is like by the time of the Big Brother 27 parent party, if you put on a few pounds, she's gonna love you because she's a chubby chaser.
She's a chubby chaser. They tried to.
You don't like the
what was it? Sunday? They really desperately tried to do a production edit with like all the love triangles and stuff. Yeah. But it's like for this cast, it's not really a thing. No showmances this year so far. I don't think we're gonna get one. I think we're gonna be strict to gameplay this year.
I mean, we're too far in that to not to say we're gonna have a showman. So I think that's where it's gonna be at. And right now, if I had to give you my final five right now, I'm gonna say Tucker gets there somehow just by winning. And I'm going to say it's going to be Cedric, Chelsea, Cam, and Angela. That's my final five. Right?
You think Angela's going that far?
I think so. I
don't think so.
I think because everyone knows they can get rid of Angela whenever they want. Right now, the targets are going to be Tucker and Quinn. And then from there, they'll eventually switch over and they're going to take out Mackenzie and they're going to take out Leah. And then eventually, the Pentagon, if they stick together, they're going to try to get out Quinn if he's not already gone. They'll get rid of Brooklyn before they get rid of Angela because they think, that's a chance to win. I really think Angela is going to get a ride here until the end. She's definitely going to be in the jury.
For some reason, I just think Tucker's just going to keep winning and get himself to the final four or five.
I said final five.
I think he's going to be so hard to get out. But the other names I could see getting there are Cedric, Takor, and Chelsea. Those are
Tikor, okay.
Tikor, yeah.
All right, yeah, like Gaza a few years ago.
Yep.
Joseph, he's gonna flow for a while.
I think he'll be picked. I think Brooklyn, unless she wins competitions, even though she's likable and smart, she doesn't win any competitions. She's gonna be picked. Lee is kind of in the same boat.
I think there's maybe 4 or 5 people you could say okay, these are the ones that could win a competition.
Right.
Tucker, you think could win?
Yeah.
Quinn was really not impressive in the AI arena, but maybe if it's more of a mental one, you would think he's got a shot. Chelsea won, but that was kind of a fluke, I think. We know Cedric could win, and the rest we got to kind of see. So we'll see how it plays out. Tuesday night we have a special with your guy, Jag.
Yes.
Taylor and Xavier.
Yes.
We'll see how that plays out. So I'm loving this season, though, Joe, that the episodes are 1 hour. I hate when they have the 2-hour ones. Just too much fluff.
Of course.
And we'll have a double eviction coming up soon. Probably in a month.
I would think. How many people? Wait, how? Let me count.
We got 12 people left.
12 people left.
Right, so they get down to 8. Double eviction.
Not this upcoming week. Not the following week.
4 weeks, I said. 4 weeks in a month.
It's either going to go from 10 to 8. So 12 to 11, so 2 weeks from now. Or 2 weeks from this upcoming Thursday.
All right. We'll see how it goes. The other thing we got to talk about, of course, is that you need to follow YKR podcast on all platforms. That's really important. You never want to miss anything.
Very, very important.
And the Summer Olympics, Joe, they are amazing. Amazing. The best.
It's disappointing. They
But it's
couldn't
over.
with COVID, and they couldn't really. Nobody really cared about Tokyo, but we love the Summer Olympics in this house. It's
If you're
perfect.
an executive out there at NBC or something, you're listening, you got to send us to LA in 2028. Joe might be there regardless, but
I might be.
I want to
go
everywhere. Really want to go to the Olympics. It's our only chance until 2032 when we got the Salt Lake City games,
right?
Winter games. But I want to go to the Olympics. But these Olympics, they're picking up steam. Not as good as some past games. Like the London one was incredible. Beijing, Brazil.
Well, we lack.
That was more star power in the pool.
Yeah, we lack a star. Right. We have good outside of because this year I think the USA men's basketball is really the only.
But what a game we have. Yesterday's game were incredible.
Yeah, one of the best Olympic games that they played. Yeah.
They needed that. The Joker
single-handedly almost.
He showed he showed
he's the MVP.
He's the best player in the world.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear he's the best because he almost took out the USA by himself. Well, Bojan Bogdanovic played very well, good as well.
Well, they built a team that could take advantage because all you got to do is just find open shooters. And again, it's like you have all the star power.
Right.
But in reality, the Olympics, they're 10-minute quarters. It matters the kind of five that are on the floor that can mesh really well. Yeah. At least with Curry, Durant, and LeBron on the floor, they all play different games where they don't really get in each other's ways. Curry is a shooter. Durant is more of a sniper from the middle range, and he can shoot the three. And LeBron's going to drive in. And now all of a sudden, when you have a guy like Embiid playing in the post where he does do the little dirty, gritty things that you need, he can shoot himself. There's the right spacing on the floor. It was the right people to make the guys to get back.
What is doing with his rotation? Why does he have Devin Booker guarding Jokic in the last few minutes?
He's been so questionable. They are very, very lucky. Tatum hasn't played, and you know how I feel about Tatum. He's a great player. I think he is slightly overrated, but he is an NBA champion. He should be playing at least. He's earned the right to play. And obviously, we know Jalen Brunson is on the team. It's the biggest snub in Olympics history. But that's another argument for another time.
How about Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown should be playing 100%.
I never heard of some of these guys in the team. I texted you yesterday. Who's white? I never heard of this guy. What team is he on in the NBA? I have no idea who he is.
Holiday's been playing a lot, and Booker has been playing a lot. So I kind of see Booker is a shooter, but in reality, maybe they would benefit from more of a hybrid guy as opposed to that shooter kind of guy.
Well, it was good to see Carmelo Anthony.
It's always good to see Carmelo
Anthony. The greatest
Anthony,
USA basketball player of all time.
Yep.
But Durant's going to pass him now for most points in USA history.
Yep.
But listen, Curry was tremendous in that game. The chef closed it out. Kevin Durant was playing amazing defense at the end of the game. He's guarding the point guard. I mean, he was so good there at the end.
Some of the best times I enjoy watching these guys play isn't even during the regular season or in some of these playoff games. It's for the Olympics.
Absolutely.
Because you can see those stretches of 3, 4, 5 minutes where it's like they really care. In the fourth quarter yesterday, they were down 11. They had to care, or they were going to disappoint the whole freaking country in plain English.
Right, and when they're playing for the country, you could see it means a lot.
Right,
it's not for the money; they're not getting paid. It's for pride, it's for ego. And I mean, at 39 years old, LeBron James should not be able to do what he's doing.
Amazing. So you take care of yourself the right way.
Yeah, so that was a really exciting game. We got the finals on Saturday. 3:00, I think. Who's going to stop Wembanyama? Who's going to stop Gobert? Who's going to stop Frank Ntilikina? That's what I want to know.
Frank Ntilikina. No, but Gobert, you have to match up Embiid on him.
Evan Fournier.
Wemby is going to be a problem. They do have some shooters. It'll be interesting.
Who should guard Wemby? It's got to be Durant. It should be Durant.
Durant, yeah, absolutely, because he's got the length. 100%.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some of the other storylines here.
Real quick though, on the game, the spread tomorrow is 14. I think I would take France with
Yeah,
the full
absolutely.
team.
The home
I think
nation.
it's going to be close.
They'll get a boost from the home crowd.
Yeah. All right, go ahead, Joe.
Well, I was going to say the first week of the Olympics was totally dominated by the U.S. women's gymnastics team.
And the men, how about the men with the
men were
big medal too?
Absolutely. But Simone Biles, Suni Lee, and company, the reason why we're giving them a shout out here is because of our friends here who just opened up a pickleball place on Staten Island. Great friends. Their daughters are actually Division I gymnasts.
Yeah.
And very close friends with the girls who are on the U.S. gymnastics team.
Suni at Auburn with Suni, one of the daughters, and the other daughter is on the U.S. national team with Simone. So
yes,
I don't know, Joe. Maybe Simone, Biles, Suni Lee,
future
on
podcast,
podcast.
Absolutely, speak it into existence.
Might have to do that one in person.
Mm-hmm. But we've also had like Noah Lyles was great in the men's 100 meters.
How about Noah Lyles getting a bronze medal with COVID? I mean, that's
amazing.
Incredible.
It's incredible. He literally passed out. He almost just like, I don't know if you saw it yesterday. He was on the track. Nobody wanted to help him. He got up. He was able to get fluids in himself. But to test positive for COVID 2 days before and to be able to still get the bronze medal. And the thing is, it's like when you saw the race yesterday, I mean, you saw he just wasn't 100%. It's so noticeable. So the fact that he was able to do that was excellent. But yeah, U.S. track and field, we've had some stars here. It's been great. Katie Ledecky in swimming.
Sid the Kid, world record, obliterating her own record.
Yep. Absolutely.
That was great. But we're going to talk about the men's major choke job today in the 4x100 relay.
I know.
The baton.
Yeah, dropping literally. Yeah, that was disappointing for them. But for the most part, the rest of, I guess, the track and field has been able to make up for it. We still lead in total medals. In terms of golds, I think we're still tied with China. I think it's 33 apiece, but we have 111 total medals. So for the most part, we're just churning away like usual. The United States always dominates the summer games. It always seems like the home country always gets a lift. So China's right there in second. France is right there. Great Britain and Australia have been there the whole time. Italy's been in the top 10. So they've been showing well. Germany. I forgot the other countries that are on the list, but those are
Canada.
The major.
They won the relay today. So
yes, Canada has been showing really well this year too, which is good.
Yeah. I want to talk about tennis real quick.
Okay.
The Joker got the last laugh over Alcaraz. I mean, I didn't see that coming after they just played a month ago.
That's right.
And Alcaraz, he won, but Joker.
That was his first Olympic gold.
Right.
Yeah.
And he, in straight sets, beat Alcaraz. I don't know if that's ever going to happen again, that Alcaraz is going to lose to him.
No.
But what a way for the Joker. He had to go through all this BS down in Australia a few years ago. He fights back.
Yes, he does.
The revenge tour. Heck of a career. The greatest of all time.
He is the greatest of all time. Two Jokers showing out well in the Olympics. Unfortunately, we had to knock out Jokic. He's still going to have the opportunity to win the bronze for a good Serbia team. But yeah, it was the only thing on his resume that he had not accomplished, and he has accomplished it. So all the Grand Slams, the accolades, now he's an Olympic gold medal winner.
Scotty Scheffler bringing home the gold in golf.
Absolutely.
For the USA.
Love that.
I think the biggest upset really had to be the rugby team, the U.S. women's rugby getting the bronze medal, because I was watching earlier in the tournament. They got destroyed by France. New Zealand destroyed them, and they somehow won the medal. But that was incredible. And listen, it's always sad when the Olympics end. You didn't have like the stars of the past, like the Michael Phelps, the Ryan Lochte, Allie Raisman, along with Gabby Douglas and Simone Biles. And you have all those together, like that was huge. But the star power.
Our star is now Simone Biles, and she is now retiring after 4 Olympic cycles. She's 27. Unbelievably impressive resume. So she was our star.
And I guess in some ways, maybe give some love to Katie Ledecky, who's going to.
I was going to say Katie Ledecky is now our star. So I don't know. I don't know how that changes between now and 28 when we're going to be in Los Angeles, but
She'll be there still.
we're gonna.
Well, there was a guy in the qualifiers for the 4x400 today on the track, Wilson, 16-year-old guy for USA. So he might be the future star. But the distance runners usually don't become the stars. It's the 100 and the 200.
The sprinters. Yep.
So Bernardic, he won the silver medal in the 200. So good for him, Kenny. But what's really stuck out to you here? What's been the big storyline? Has it been the guy diving in the pool to retrieve the caps? Has it been the guy who had an issue with the pole vault from France? How about the USA figure skating team getting their gold medal after the Russians cheated a few years ago? What's really caught your eye in these games?
I think the venues itself. Yeah, because we've seen
beach volleyball.
Beach volleyball
is
behind it. It is. It's perfect.
Or
it's
also
so perfect.
Beach volleyball stars.
You cannot get any better than that.
Chase Budinger,
former NBA player on the men's volleyball team.
And let's give some love to the most dominant team at the Olympics, the women's USA basketball team.
Yes.
Even without Caitlin Clark.
Nope.
This team, Joe, in our lifetime, born in 1992, has never lost the game in the Olympics.
Amazing. Women's basketball is always good. We're always good at women's soccer too. So the women always show out when it comes to the Olympics.
Yeah. Men's rowing, they won an unexpected gold. So a lot of gold.
We did really across the board this cycle. We did really well. Again, no real stars outside of Simone Biles and the Katie Ledecky, and the NBA players for Team USA, but just really, really solid.
It's going to be a whole new era in 2028.
That's true. Yep.
Katie will be there, I would think. Sydney McLaughlin, Laverne will be there. I'm sure Noah Lyles will attempt to be there, but
a lot of those basketball guys are. I think this is it for them.
LeBron's going to be 40.
KD is done.
LeBron will be 43, 44. He's done. Durant's going to be like 40. Curry's going to be.
If they win, he's 4 gold medals, so he would be done. Curry, I think, has the opportunity to play one more time, simply because he's just the shooter.
And the Diana Taurasi role.
Right.
Let's see. Steph Curry right now, who has got a TV show kind of on Peacock. You couldn't avoid that commercial. He would be 40 at the next Olympics. So I don't know if he's going to be playing at that point.
I think he could do it.
Well, you know who's going to be the captain of Team USA in 4 years? The captain of the Knicks, Jalen Brunson.
After they snubbed him. Imagine
Jalen Brown is going to be
Tyrese Halliburton over Jalen Brunson. What are you doing?
I'm fine with Halliburton, but who's this guy White? Who are these people that are? There's some guys that I don't understand why they're there.
I could see Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is fine with me. He's awesome. But how do you leave Jalen Brunson off the?
I'm a little surprised Bronny James didn't get the call up to the.
I don't even know if he's going to ever play in the NBA.
No, there's some guy they said. I was listening. He's going to Duke this year. Keg Pathway or Keg something or other. I have no idea. He's going to play. Apparently, they had him out for the pre stuff, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's going to be the next big thing in the NBA." We've heard that so many times, though. So, we'll see of who's going to actually be there. But they said some guy, a Cooper Flagg. Sorry,
yes.
Cooper Flagg. Never heard of the guy, but he's 6'9". He'll be a one and done. He's projected to be the first pick in the draft.
Next year.
See how that plays out. All right, let's talk about what we always got to talk about to end the show, and that is WWE and AEW. Joe, I watched for 5 years, but I'm out. I can't watch AEW anymore. It's too much. It's like a chore to watch 5 hours a week. I can't keep up with everything going on in my personal life.
I tell you this all the time.
I just can't watch all the AEW. I've been keeping up with the reading things since early July now. Maybe I'll get back into it, but I'm just generally not interested in anything in AEW right now because I don't really care about Will Ospreay versus MJF being for the U.S. title.
That's really their big men's feud. And
sure, but why is it opening the card? I can't buy Swerve Strickland as the champ. Bryan Danielson's going to be the champ, but I would have rather seen Bryan Danielson versus, MJF or Will Ospreay for the title at this pay-per-view. And then the next week's another pay-per-view. There's no build to that.
No,
nothing makes any
problem.
sense. Nothing makes any sense with everything AEW.
Well, I think the issue with them is that they have a couple of really good angles, but I think what they do, just because of how they're structured, the TV product week to week is incredibly watered down.
Yeah.
They don't need Rampage. Collision at the very beginning was a solid show, and now it doesn't really feel like it has any feel or differentiation to it. So in my case, no CM Punk, right? You lose your biggest star. That's an issue. I do like the big angles that they're doing. I think Ospreay versus MJF is probably their biggest angle. And you're right. The problem is it's not for the main title. It's for the secondary title. But they had a really
secondary title. There's so many titles.
There are too many titles.
International, the All-Atlantic.
Everything is watered down when it comes to AEW.
It's like you're playing a video game watching. There's just so
much.
Well,
I tell you this all the time. Tony Khan is not a booker. He is a matchmaker. Now, that is their biggest problem.
The biggest match on that card for Wembley is for the TNT, the TBS Women's Championship.
Well,
why is Mercedes Moné not the world, the women's champ? Why is she the TBS champion? Can you explain this to me?
Tony Storm versus Mariah May for the women's world title is actually a hot angle too. Their two biggest angles are their two women's championship
Mariah
matches.
May needs to win that match.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Tony Storm's like already an 18-time women's champion. It's like they need to find a storyline there.
It's a good angle.
How about Britt Baker being suspended?
Well, there's more to that than meets the eye. So it seems like there was an issue with MJF. I don't know what happened, right? You read internet reports. Seems like comments were made, right? So that seems natural. But I've also read stuff where this kind of wasn't the first incident that has happened with Britt Baker. So when you are the common denominator, it's hard for me to give you the benefit of the doubt, right? So two things, two wrongs don't make a right.
There's nobody they booked worse over the past 3-4 years than Britt Baker.
They kept her off TV for the longest time for no reason.
Britt Baker and Jade Cargill did not happen.
Right.
That was the biggest match they could have did. I don't know why they didn't do that. I'm hoping that the DMD goes to WWE along with Ricky Starks and Daniel Garcia. Look, Ethan Page into NXT, and a month later he's the NXT champion. Which I don't know what's going on with our guy Trick Willie here, but there's a few people right now at AEW that have not been on TV, which means their contracts are coming up. So let's move over to WWE. And I got to see how this is going to work here. I'm assuming Britt Baker is going to lose this match to Mercedes Moné.
Yeah, I think she's going to lose the first match because I think they're going to want to continue it. I think in the case of Tony Storm versus Mariah
next week at the next pay-per-view.
Right, it's going to be back to back. That's what's going to happen. In the case of Tony and Mariah, I think Mariah May will win the women's world title, which is a good decision. It's a good story. It's got a lot of backstory to it. Good build up. But again, their two hottest angles are the two women's matches.
Yeah, I like that the Acclaim's coming after FTR now because I never liked FTR.
Yeah.
And the Acclaim, they were so hot, and they just took the titles off of them.
And they cooled down.
Everyone the same,
Yep.
And I hate the Young Bucks. Now, they had the Blood and Guts match, which made no sense as to how they came up with the teams. And the ending to the match was so brutal. I mean...
Controversial. Well, it's becoming like Hell in a Cell. Hell in a Cell is on the calendar, and you're having matches that are not really worthy of the gimmick. Yeah, you have blood and guts on the calendar,
but that's not a true AEW team.
No, it's not.
Hold off on that. You have your AEW team of Kenny Omega. He's got to be in there. You could have got a MJF in there somehow, right? That would have made sense. And the number one guy, I know he's heel now on Team AEW, has to be Chris Jericho. How do you not have Chris Jericho on your Team AEW?
He's been very watered down. I see a lot of people are sick of him.
Well, I mean,
They have Jericho burnout. It's a real thing.
Jericho's got to come back for one last run on
In
Raw on
WWE.
Netflix.
Yep, correct. And then he goes in the Hall of Fame and he rides off into the sunset.
Look, AEW is just, people are getting watered down, they're getting booed, and then they come WWE and they become WWE champion like Cody Rhodes.
And I think he's the exception to the rule right now, because even if a guy like Ricky Starks comes over, he'll be well received, but you still got to earn your place, because
Sure,
the WWE roster is very talented. Right.
But look, AEW has these stars they could have right under their nose, like Big Bill, Wardlow, Brian Cage. These guys are huge.
Literally.
And they never win matches.
What
happened to Will Hobbs? They're pushing him. He's gone. He's missing.
They've never pushed their big guys well. It's been outside of everything being watered down, which I think is their number one problem. Their second biggest problems is they don't book big guys well. They don't protect them,
and the production value is not good in comparison to WWE.
Well,
you can never get a replay. It's ridiculous.
No.
All right, WWE is hot now, right now, Joe. Tonight, he's back on SmackDown, and he's already announced for next week on SmackDown. That's never happened before in the Roman Reigns Championship era, back-to-back weeks on TV. Where are we going from here? How's Cody Rhodes going to be involved? What are we setting up for the Bash at Berlin as far as the Bloodline and Cody Rhodes is concerned?
I think moving forward now, you're finally going to get Cody Rhodes away from the Bloodline for a little bit. We got to cool that down, because for the longest time, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens have been with the Bloodline. I think we're finally going to see the Bloodline.
So Cody and AJ again at the Bash at Berlin.
No, I don't think so.
Kevin Owens and Cody.
That's what I think.
Because we thought it was going to be Randy Orton, but he's just, I'm going to go to Raw and take on Gunther.
They had a good explanation for that. Yes, because there were a lot of people with Randy, his shoulder was not down for the King of the Ring final. So to get the okay from Triple H, okay, I respect the request. You get the one match against Gunther. He's the world champion right now. So it just so happens that match will be for the world title, and it's a selling point for Bash in Berlin. It'll be a great matchup. The rematch makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Randy probably won't win.
What's Cody Rhodes going to do? He's gonna face Kevin Owens?
I don't think immediately, but I do think that
that's have a match on the card, I would think, huh?
I would think so too. Maybe they because I don't know if he fights Solo again. Because again, Reigns is back and he's going after Solo, and now we're gonna get.
How about Jacob Fatu? I mean, this guy is a wild Samoan, breaks his leg, and he tells Solo, finish him, get up, while he's driving in pain.
The problem that they have is Solo is good and he's improved. But when you look at Solo in comparison to Jacob Fatu looks like he's it. Right. He looks like he's the guy who should be fighting and going after Roman Reigns for really the true head of the tribal chief title.
No, I heard not really so much Solo. Hikalu, they signed him or something. This guy, he's like 7'2". He's in the Bloodline. Where's he in this? So ultimately, what are they going to do? They're going to do the current 4 versus Roman, Jimmy J,
and Sammy
at War Games. But how is Roman going to apologize to them?
He's not going to. So the long-term story here is there's going to be 2 things. Roman Reigns lost the title at WrestleMania. At SummerSlam, there was this opportunity to bring the WWE title back to the Bloodline. Roman Reigns denied that opportunity. So now there's a legitimate gripe where the title is not in the Bloodline, and that's because of Roman Reigns. So how can Roman Reigns, who is the original tribal chief, the only tribal chief, the one true tribal chief, how is the rest of the family going to agree with that? So that's going to be a point of emphasis.
Now, I got to see, why would Sami Zayn and Jay come help Roman and Jimmy?
Well, that's a story that's going to play out in time.
And what about The Rock? Where does he sit in this? The final boss.
He will. My prediction is he's going to align with the other side in time.
So I think he'll be the reason that the new bloodline beats the old bloodline at Survivor
Games.
Series.
That's correct.
Oh, okay.
It's my long-term prediction.
And then they do Rock and Roman for WrestleMania.
I still think that's going to be the plan.
I want to see it.
I want to see it too.
I want to see that match. There's only one match I want to see more, but right now it doesn't make sense. I need to see Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns again. I have to see it.
They keep putting it off.
Well, the problem is Seth Rollins always wins, so Roman doesn't want any part of that.
Death taxes. Rollins beats Reigns.
I mean, to me, they went this whole route of turning Roman face, but like, how do you not come out of WrestleMania saying, "I need to see Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns"?
They'll get there.
What? How many years are we gonna wait for this match now?
Well, Seth is out. He's out hurt right now. He's got chronic back issues, so he's going to have to be on the shelf for a while. I think you're going to get it next year. I think you're going to get it either probably at SummerSlam or maybe the following.
That got written out the other night by on Raw. He's written off TV.
That was the plan. He needed the extra time off. He came back. He wrestled. He looked fine, but he's got long-term issues that he needs an extended time away. You can't go out 2 months and then expect your back issues and everything to heal. So he's in rough shape right now. For him,
he could barely walk on the second night of WrestleMania.
Absolutely, yeah.
He was the MVP of WrestleMania.
He was absolutely 100%, 1,000.
I came out of WrestleMania like I was always like a fan of Seth Rollins, but so much respect for the guy coming out of that.
He's the only person who could lose 2 matches on each night of WrestleMania, and you come out and you're like, I love that guy. He was awesome.
Yeah, and with the way things are going to AEW, and now with Triple H in charge, are we going to see Dean Ambrose back in WWE at some point, Joe?
Okay, here's my opinion.
Could you imagine whenever his contract's up, whatever, and we're finally getting that Roman Seth match, and then Dean Ambrose shows up?
Listen, once upon a time, they fought. It was at a Battleground pay-per-view, and my friends and I drove to Washington, D.C. to see it. I think Moxley's biggest issue was always with Vince. Now Vince McMahon is no longer there.
Yeah.
People are slowly trickling back to the company. But the issue with him is that he's still like Punk for a long time. He held this vendetta against them.
Right.
Do you want to put your ego aside? Do you want to put the vendetta aside? Because I don't really think he has much longer to go. With the way that he wrestles, he's got maybe
I cannot watch a Dean Ambrose, John Moxley match with the blood.
It's so too much at this point. However, if he goes to WWE, they will protect him from himself, which is a big, big thing. If he could put his vendetta aside,
contract statuses.
Right. I think he signed for another. I think at least another year, but I think it's like 2 years after this.
All right, so let's say this. How about this show? WrestleMania 42, the night one main event. The 4 horsewomen and the night 2 main events. The Shield.
Yeah.
How sick would that be?
We all want it. Listen, Mercedes, she's going to be in AEW, but she's going to go back to WWE. Moxley, I think, is really, truly 50-50, but they will protect him from himself. There are a couple of stories in WWE that would be good to tell at the end of his career. And you go back, you shake hands, you have a year run there, a 2-year run there. You go out on top, you retire, you go home to Renee, you go home to your child, and then you go into the Hall of Fame after. It makes all the sense in the world.
Of people to come back right now, who would get the biggest pop? Would it be Dean Ambrose? Would it be a Daniel Bryan? Would it be a Sasha Banks? Would it be a Zack Ryder?
No, they would go nuts for Sasha Banks. They would go insane. The internet hates her in AEW right now, but they'll love her when she goes home.
Before I die, I got to hear Michael Cole one more time.
It's boss time.
It's boss time! And I also hate when people return and then they change their song. Like, you got to hear that Sasha Banks song. Like, they did it. Like, they changed Naomi's song after the Royal Rumble. That was bizarre.
They changed Sheamus' song. Why? We had 2 good Sheamus' songs. Why did we need a third one that wasn't as good as the first 2?
So what storylines are you the most interested in right now in WWE? Obviously, the bloodline is going to be that. I'm interested to see how they get to Jade versus Bianca, because that's happening at WrestleMania.
Right.
I'm interested to see the Tiffany Stratton face turn when she catches on Nia Jax, because the crowd's going to go berserk.
That's a long-term thing.
And now from there, are they going to do Tiffany versus Charlotte? And Charlotte's going to be the heel? because I think Tiffany's going to be the champion before WrestleMania next year.
Well, I also think that Charlotte Flair versus Bianca Belair is a possibility too.
Yeah, but they're going to do Bianca versus Jade first, looks like.
Right. So we're going to have to just see how that plays out in time.
And what about Becky? Is she retired? What do we think?
No, she's not retired. Her and her husband need time away. Let them get healthy. Let them take an extended break. Listen, everybody needs a recharge. It's just back to life. I know you didn't really love the Judgment Day stuff.
Ugh.
I know that hasn't been your cup of tea.
Thank goodness for Liv Morgan to actually make it intriguing.
But they really did a good job with all of that at SummerSlam.
I hate Rhea Ripley.
The turn on Rhea was good. The crowd loved it. Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Pat McAfee calling him a piece of shit is the funniest freaking thing ever. It's so funny. And
we're going to miss McAfee. McAfee's done in 2 weeks.
Yep. And then what's his name? Joe's taking over.
Well, it's going to be Joe Tessitore and probably they're probably I think I'm probably going to put Joe with Corey, I think.
Corey's
Wade and Michael Cole on SmackDown. I'm stunned because I thought for sure Michael Cole was going to be the Netflix scout.
I thought so too. But yeah, I mean, listen, there are positives and negatives to this because on Netflix you could get away with more. It's a premium service.
I'm so sick of SmackDown blacking out on Fox. It's so annoying right now.
Well, now it's going to USA, and USA for the longest time has always housed the WWE show.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if it's Monday Night Raw. It doesn't matter if it's Friday Night SmackDown. There always needs to be a WWE program or show on the USA Network, and we're going to get that with SmackDown. So there are pluses and advantages of it. One's on a streaming service. One's on a regular platform. There are certain things that you could do with both that, can't really do with the other. So I'm okay with it. But we're going to miss McAfee.
We'll see what happens. All right. Well, that's it. Great show, Joe. Follow You Know I'm Right podcast everywhere. And we'll do this again. We'll have to do it again. For my co-host, Joe Calabrese, I'm Nick Durst, and this has been You Know I'm Right.
Bye.